Okay, so I made these brackets up, welded these in from the bottom and put bolts right the way through and nipped them up. So there's the three main bolts that hold it. These tie wraps are just on to hold this in place till tomorrow, till it's all glued up. And then what I can do then is start putting the padding on here, the sponge on these two ends, and then I'll see if I can cut down the tonneau on the back to a point where he can work with it and stitch it. But that'll do the job, and that just fits in nicely like that. But I've got to say, I've got to do the other end, just waiting for this glue to dry. So I'll put a load of glue into along here where I cut it, so it's all glued up, so hopefully that'll go well. And you can see I put these splits here, one here and one here, and they basically go onto that one there, so it keeps it in the right position, and that one over there, so you can't see it doesn't stick out for the sponge. If it was out on the other side, the sponge would sit up against it. So should be it. So we'll see what it's like tomorrow when this is set up, and go from there. So this is how the sponge looks on it now. It's not all the way down, I haven't got it right in yet. It's got to go down on the back. So what I'll do is pull it down and just see how it goes, and then put it into place, and I'll show you the reason why. Okay, so that'll give you a little bit of an idea about how the back would look once the vinyl's on it, and that would carry on right the way around there and around the other side. And I think that would look quite nice, especially against the diamond stitch. It'll look really nice in there. And then of course you've got your back seat here as well. So all you see is that diamond stitch in this, like a cupola cover. I think that looks pretty good. Okay, there's no studs in it or buttons yet, but that's what it'll look like, well, hopefully. So you can see the door, even though the door cards were made up, I've had to change them around a little bit, because this section here needs to come out, this one I've marked here. And the reason that is because of the seat belt. It catches right onto the seat belt, where normally this would tuck right in to the rear quarter panel. This is obviously further out now because of the position of what were going to be the white window regulators. So it can only go in so far, and I'll show you exactly what I mean before I bring you back and show you some things on the interior. So hopefully you can see down there where the seatbelt mounting is. That was interfere with the door card, but because it's lower with when the armrest is, then we just take that little piece out, and as you see there with the seatbelt, looks quite nice. This one's already been put on, but we just have to refabricate it for these seat belts. So that's another job I've got to do, is try and find some seat belts. These are from my Mini Cooper, just to try them out, and they work well. We just need to redo these rear quarter panel cards, so I'll do the same on the other side. Okay, so as I said, I have to modify this door, this quarter panel in a guard or in a panel. So the first thing I need to do is to start taking all these staples out, so I can cut the board and then recut the vinyl for it to nip over the sides. So one of the things I wanted to show is that with these cards, where you've got these beading inside this tubular here that's stitched in, there's like a rubber core to it, and as you see they stick up pretty much, so that when you put them on the door, it pushes the door card away from the metal part of the door, and it looks awful. The ones down here don't matter because they're in a place where they're not seen, but these top ones are an issue. So before I take these staples out, I'll just show you how I deal with this. I already did this one. You can see here that I've got some, this is the rubber that's inside it. What I did is split it down the side here, got hold of the end and pulled it extremely tight, probably to about that kind of distance, and then nipped it off. And because it's rubber, it elasticated and has sprung back in. And as you can see there, the door card is now flat if I take it out of the way, sorry, you can see there it's now flat against, whereas before it was stuck up in the air like this, pulling it away from the door card. And that one's the same, that one's flat now. So I did these earlier, and there's the 4 pieces that I did. So the one I've just done, these are the other 2. So basically just, if you cut it so you can just get hold of it with a pair of long nose pliers, whatever, and pull it really, really tight to the point where you think it's going to snap, and then just cut it back, and then the elastication of it will pull it back in, and that seemed to work. I did try it on a spot where it wasn't going to show on one of these bottom ones, and it worked. So, like I said, I'm going to now, the other one is done, I'm going to do the other one, so now I have to go to the laborious thing of pulling all these staples out, and they can be quite difficult to get out. So what I'll do is I'll just slowly, in fact I'll put them all in there because they get in the way. And you just have to go around one at a time and just slowly pick them out. And try, and if you can, to kind of roll them rather than dig them. I have to dig it out to get under it, of course. But if you can, try and roll it out so you don't leave any of the metal in. If you were putting it back on, and obviously this is glued now. So what I'll do is just tease each one out. Okay, so there's a perfect example of this. These rubbers that I was talking about inside, this piping. So if you just pull it and stretch it, just pull it, overstretch it, and when you cut it, it will go back into the hole. So you just need a little bit of an overlap, and that one should be done. Okay, and you can see now it's squashable on the end, so the actual end is there now. You can see how that's not going to now interfere, like that one won't either. So I'll put it in and try it out. See if it fits. Just by comparison, have a look how big that gap is there on the side, and especially down there. This one hasn't been done yet. And again here, see how big the gap is? And here. So I'll take you around the other side, which is the door card that I've done. I think you can see there's quite a difference. Look how nice that fits. That fits into there and there in comparison, and particularly the door edges. You can see there's a nice gap all the way down, and that's just by taking that inner piece of rubber out of that stitching edge, and I think that looks far superior. Little detail, but I think that's a difference of just putting it on and it looking okay to making it right and fit right, because the studs won't go in properly either with those beadings in the way. So I think that's enough for today. As usual, stay safe, keep the faith, enjoy your hobby. Sorry this has been a bit of a long haul, but yeah, it is what it is, but we're definitely getting there. And you can see the amount of work that's been put into these. This is the front edge. Obviously this had to all be welded up, as you can see inside. And this one's got to be finished up. It's not welded all the way down yet, but that one is. So yeah, done a lot of work, but it's right now. It fits right, and the cover's going to look nice on it. So take care and be good to each other. Bye for now.